Hey guys, I'm Mexico Hotlap Guide at 113.455. This is PSGL F1. It wasn't a great lap. It was like P12. 13.29 was pole. I actually saw Jarno this weekend. Said he watched some of my videos. So here's the lap. So right away, obviously DRS open, ERS deploying in overtake mode. Down into the turn one here. All the way down to about 50%. Now, the braking point, I like to think that you want to be at 100% braking at the 100-meter board. So that means you want to be engaging the braking just a little bit before that. So heavy braking zone, then as you drop the brakes, you flick the car in. You want to be aiming for this apex right here. You can be, all on this red and white curb. You could be probably, a few centimeters closer to that sausage curb there. And then a big jump on throttle here. So the big jump on throttle, and then, try and set up these next two corners right there. And then a bit of a release and a touch of braking. A touch of braking and then coasting it in, and then back jumping on throttle as you're going over that first sausage curb. But not getting up to 100%, just an 80% jump on throttle, then releasing it some as you're over that sausage curb, then back on throttle some, turning the car in to the next sausage curb, then actually releasing the throttle some before you get to the curb. Then after you get bumped over the curb, you're back on throttle 100%, running the car out wide. It's a lot to do in that turn 1, 2, 3 section, but it's something that takes some practice. It's a bit tricky. Then flat out engage the ERS mode, into sector 2 coming up. Here, I would say you want to engage the braking at the 100-meter board. So once you're at the 100-meter board, then you start getting heavy on the brakes. Now it's all about getting the car rotated and then setting up this next corner up. So getting the car rotated in, heavy braking, flicking the car as you're releasing the brakes. You could probably be you could always be a little bit close to the sausage curb, but you want to keep the steering to the left at this corner to set up. You don't want to be running out here. You want to keep the car turning and then flick the wheel to the right very quickly when you're going from the left to the right, and then just a touch of braking, 10-20% to get the car rotated into the second second corner right here. Again, getting close to the orange sausage curb as much as you can, and then back on throttle. Next braking point, I like to look at this light post right here. It's about a 50% brake, and then some trail in and a big flick. You want to be really tight in these two curbs. So you're really tight to this orange curb here, really tight to this orange curb there. Keep it super tight. And once you're past, jump on throttle, use the exit out in third gear. Here, the braking point, I like to either it's the back of the car is after the back of the car kind of gets to this black box here, or it's the front of the car is at that lamp post. It's just a touch of braking, maybe 5% braking, and then release the throttle and turn the car in. At this point you don't even have to release the throttle fully. If you're just doing a few percent braking, by the time you release all the throttle, you want to be back on throttle. So you don't even have to fully release the throttle. You just do a touch of braking and a good amount of release. A lot of curb here. Look how much curb you can take there. You can run. You can get some green grass on the car there. Then flat out, use the curbs advantage. Flat out here. It shouldn't be too hard once you have it amount of downforce. DRS open, really draining the ERS here. So again, a lot of those like sector 2, you're probably going none, but then here draining the DRS all the way down to 2%. At this breaking point, I like to look at when the curb right when my curb gets to kind of the full indications, that's when you start braking 100%, flick the car in, getting onto that orange curb here, then really running the car out. Look how far he runs the car out, all the way, basically a full car off track, just a little bit on the white line here. Then bringing the car strongly back to the right. So in here, bring the car strongly back to the right. Then it's kind of at where you see these two guys on the right here. That's one braking reference of when you want to start doing about 90% brake pressure. It doesn't need to be 100% or just tap 100%, but then it's mostly 90%. A lot of the braking is done in the straight line here. Then flick the car in. So 90% brake here, flick the car in, big flick here. You'd want to be a little bit closer to the apex. And then on throttle, then as you're coming up to this next orange red and white curb, you're getting off the throttle some, so you don't completely throw the car off. Then as you're setting up the corner, look how far off track you are here. Then as the back of the car gets to the black box, that's when you do about 50% brake pressure. Then trail brake in, and then get close to this sausage curb here. And then back on throttle, big jump, 80% jump, and then you're really far out wide to the left. That way you can be full on throttle and then cut this corner, this black, red and white curve here, and then go straight up to the line. That's a lap. Now here's this full lap. Thanks for watching.
¿Cómo llevamos? So inconsistent.